Well, let me ask you a question. When you woke up this morning, did you choose your mood or did you just fall into one? Because here's the truth. Most people wake up, check their phone, see a message they didn't expect, or think about something stressful, and instantly they hand over the keys to their mood. They react instead of decide. They drift instead of direct. But what if I told you, your mood is not something that happens to you, your mood is something you create. Your mood is your mental home. And just like you wouldn't live in a house filled with trash, stress, and clutter, why on earth would you settle for a mind that feels toxic, defeated, or negative? You've got to treat your internal world like sacred ground. And that starts with consciously choosing how you feel. It's not about fake positivity. It isn't about lying to yourself. It's about owning your power to shape your emotional world. It's about recognizing that how you feel isn't just based on your circumstances, but on the meaning you give those circumstances. You see, emotion comes from motion. If you change the way you move, the way you breathe, the way you stand, you will feel different. That's not philosophy, that's neurochemistry. Try this. Stand up, shoulders back, chest up, breathe deep, smile. It doesn't matter if you're in the middle of the worst day of your life, just that shift in your body tells your brain, we're okay, we've got this. That alone can begin to alter your mood. Your physiology controls your psychology. So let's get practical. What are the triggers that shift your mood for the worse? Is it scrolling social media first thing in the morning? Is it spending too much time with energy drainers? Identify those triggers, then interrupt them. Now ask yourself, what are the rituals that would prime a powerful mood? Maybe it's 5 minutes of gratitude. Maybe it's listening to music that lights a fire in your soul. Maybe it's writing down your goals with intensity. Whatever it is, lock it in. Moods don't show up randomly. They're programmed by your habits. When you master your rituals, you master your day. And when you master your day, you master your life. You can't live an extraordinary life with an ordinary mood. You've got to condition your emotional muscles daily, just like your physical ones. And let's be honest, there will be days when life will test you. You'll get knocked down. You'll be exhausted. But even then, you get to decide whether you stay in a suffering state or shift into a resourceful one. Why let the world choose your mood when you were born with the power to create it? So don't wait for a reason to feel good. Be the reason. Don't look for permission to be joyful. Own it. Decide that no matter what happens outside, you control what happens inside. Because life isn't about avoiding the storm. It's about learning to dance in the rain. And it all begins the moment you decide to choose a good mood. Every day, no matter what. Most people move through life thinking their emotions are automatic responses to the world around them. Something happens, and boom, you're angry. You get a compliment, and suddenly you feel happy. But the truth is, your mood isn't some mysterious force that shows up uninvited. It's a decision, moment-by-moment choice you make based on what you focus on, the meaning you assign to things, and how you direct your inner world. When you realize that your mood is within your control, everything changes. You stop being a puppet of circumstance and become the creator of your experience. Imagine this. 2 people wake up to the same rainy morning. One curses the weather, feels sluggish, and complains all day about how everything goes wrong. The other sees the rain as peaceful, uses the time indoors to be productive, and ends the day feeling calm and satisfied. The weather didn't change. What changed was the choice in perception. That shift in interpretation shaped their emotional state. That's what most people never understand. It's not the event that creates your mood. It's the meaning you attach to the event. And meaning is a choice. Now, of course, we've all been conditioned. From childhood, we learn patterns. Maybe you learn that stress means panic, that silence means rejection, that success feels too good to be true. But just because a pattern has been practiced doesn't mean it's permanent. You can interrupt it. You can question it. You can replace it. The moment you catch yourself spiraling into a bad mood, you have the opportunity to stop and ask, what else could this mean? What am I focusing on? What am I choosing to feel right now? That self-awareness is where the shift begins. It's not about pretending everything is fine. It's about choosing the state that best serves you in any situation. Because being in a good mood doesn't just feel better, it allows you to make better decisions, treat people with more kindness, respond rather than react, and lead with purpose instead of fear. Think about it. When you're in a good mood, don't you handle problems better? Aren't you more creative, more present, more patient? That's because your state is your foundation. And when the foundation is strong, everything you build on top of it becomes stronger too. Choosing your mood means becoming the gatekeeper of your emotional home. You decide who or what gets to influence it. You don't give that power away lightly. It doesn't mean you won't feel sad or frustrated. Those are natural emotions, but it means you don't live there. You visit, you learn, you feel, and then you choose to move forward. You choose to raise your energy. You choose to show up differently. You choose to own your state rather than surrender it. This isn't a one-time shift. It's a daily practice, a muscle that gets stronger every time you use it. The more you take ownership of your emotional state, the more confident, resilient, and fulfilled you become. Life will throw challenges your way, but when you've trained yourself to choose a good mood, even when it's hard, you become unstoppable. Because no matter what's going on around you, the real power lies in how you choose to feel within. Your emotional state is not just about how you feel, it's about how you function. When you're in a good mood, you communicate with more clarity, you listen better, and you make decisions from a place of strength rather than fear. That emotional state, that mood you choose, becomes the lens through which you experience everything. If you're in a negative state, everything feels heavier, more frustrating, more difficult. But if you're in an empowered, energized, optimistic state, even the toughest problems seem manageable. That's the power of emotional control. It directly shapes your behavior, your performance, and your results. Think about it. You don't get results based on your talent alone. You get results based on the state you're in when you're using that talent. Two people can have the same knowledge, the same training, the same opportunities. One thrives and the other struggles. Why? Because one knows how to manage their emotional state in pressure moments. The one who chooses calm over panic, focus over distraction, courage over fear, they lead the room, close the deal, make the move. They act from the right place. And the right place always begins with choosing the right mood. Your mood affects how you see people. In a bad state, you might interpret someone's silence as disrespect. In a good state, you might interpret that same silence as reflection or deep thought. The person didn't change, you did. And because of that shift in how you feel, your behavior toward them changes too. You might snap in frustration or speak with patience. That single choice impacts your relationships, your influence, your leadership. The ripple effect is real. One shift in mood can change how your entire day unfolds. And in the long term, it changes your life. What we often forget is that state is contagious. Ever been around someone who walks into the room and suddenly everyone feels more alive, more awake, more inspired? That's not accidental. That's someone who's mastered their emotional state and brings it with them wherever they go. They don't wait for the world to set the tone. They are the tone. They're intentional. And when you're intentional with your emotional energy, you become a thermostat, not a thermometer. So let me tell you what productivity is not about mastering your time. Let me tell you what it matters more than. It's about being intentional with your emotional energy. If you perceive the world as a tablet, that means you now spin your paper. You don't just react to the room, you change it. On the flip side, we've also seen how someone's negative state can pull others down. That one coworker, that one friend who walks in stressed, irritated, and defensive Suddenly the room tenses up. That's what happens when state is unmanaged. It leaks. And it's a reminder that managing your mood isn't just for you. It's for everyone around you. Your family, your team, your clients, your friends, they all feel the impact of your state, whether they realize it or not. You are always influencing, either by design or by default. So what if you made it a standard for yourself that no matter what's happening, you will show up in a state that creates solutions, not problems? What if you trained yourself to feel empowered when others feel helpless? What if your emotional strength became the anchor for others in chaos? Because when you understand that your mood shapes your behavior and your behavior shapes your life, you no longer treat it like an accident, you start treating it like a skill. And skills can be developed. You can train yourself to get into a peak state. You can condition your nervous system to choose gratitude over resentment, presence over distraction, strength over weakness. It's not about being perfect. It's about being committed to choosing better again and again, every single day. When you do that, your actions align with your purpose. Your behavior reflects your best self. And that's how powerful lives are built. Not through luck or chance, but through choosing your state, managing your mood, and directing your destiny. The body is the fastest way to change the mind. It's one of the most overlooked truths about emotional strength. People think they have to wait until they feel better to move better, but it works the other way around. You don't wait for a good mood, you generate it. And one of the fastest, most reliable tools to generate a powerful mood is to shift your physiology. Your breath, your posture, your facial expressions. These are the levers that can pull you out of anxiety, stress, frustration, or even depression if you learn to master them consistently. Let's make it practical. Think of a time when you felt strong, confident, and full of life. How were you standing? How were you breathing? What was your energy like? You weren't slouched over, head down with shallow breath. You had presence. You had movement. You were upright, alert, maybe even smiling. That wasn't just a reflection of how you felt. It was a creator of how you felt. The body sends signals to the brain constantly, and when your body moves like you're confident, your brain starts to release chemicals that align with that signal. It's biology, not guesswork. Now imagine trying to feel joy while standing still, staring at the floor, shoulders slumped. Doesn't work. That posture communicates defeat. That breath tells the body we're under threat. And the brain responds with emotional signals that match. This is why so many people feel stuck emotionally, because they stay stuck physically. They sit for hours, barely breathe deeply, and wonder why motivation never arrives. But you don't need motivation to move. You need movement to spark motivation. Every emotion has a posture, a movement, a rhythm. Think about excitement. It's fast, loud, upright. Think about sadness. It's slow, low energy, withdrawn. By shifting your body's rhythm, you interrupt the pattern of the emotion. You begin to break the cycle. And if you combine that with intentional focus, like thinking of what you're grateful for or visualizing your goals, your state transforms entirely. It's not magic, it's strategy. This is about using your body as a tool, not just a shell. Breathing is one of the most powerful tools in this process. Most people breathe shallow, especially when under pressure. That tells the nervous system we're not safe. But the moment you take deep, full breaths from the diaphragm, you signal to the body and brain that we are in control. Just 3 or 4 deep breaths can lower cortisol levels and begin to shift your emotional state. It's available to you anywhere, no app, no device, no environment required. Your face is another trigger. Neuroscience has proven that smiling, even when you don't feel happy, can activate the brain's reward system. So you don't smile because you feel good, you smile to feel good. Movement, breath, and expression are 3 levers you can pull at any moment to take back control of your state. This is not about pretending life is always good. It's about recognizing that when life isn't, you still have tools. You are never powerless because your body is always with you. And your body is a mood generator, a mood amplifier, a mood transformer, but you have to use it with intention. If you want to build emotional strength, train your body, not just for health, but for energy. Use movement to command presence. Use breath to center yourself in chaos. Use posture to declare who you are, even when your circumstances don't reflect it yet. You may not be able to control every thought or external situation, but you can control your physiology. And through that, you take back the power to influence your internal world. The shift doesn't have to take hours. Sometimes it only takes seconds. If you just remember to use what's already yours every day, whether you realize it or not, you are shaping your mood through the small rituals you engage in. From the moment you open your eyes in the morning to the last few thoughts before sleep, you are training your mind and body to expect certain emotions. People often wonder why they feel stuck in negative cycles, why stress or sadness keeps returning, why they struggle to maintain peace or joy. The answer is usually hidden in the rituals, those repeated patterns of thought, action, and focus that slowly become who we are emotionally. Your mood is not created by chance. It is sculpted by repetition. Wake up and check your phone immediately. You're likely setting yourself up for distraction and stress before your feet even touch the ground. Start your day rushing, reacting, and scrolling. Then don't be surprised when your energy feels scattered and your focus feels weak. That's not just a bad habit. It's a mood-building ritual. You're feeding your nervous system anxiety and confusion before you even give it a chance to breathe. Now imagine doing that every day for years. You don't just wake up in a bad mood, you've been rehearsing it. But the opposite is just as true. If you begin your morning with clarity by breathing deeply, moving your body, reviewing what you're grateful for, you are rehearsing a mood of strength, focus, and joy. That becomes your emotional default. You don't need to force yourself to feel good because you've conditioned your nervous system to expect it. That's the power of rituals. They don't just create habits. They build emotional baselines. Think about it this way. Most people don't rise to the level of their goals. They fall to the level of their routines. And mood is no exception. You can have big dreams, powerful affirmations, and a strong vision, but if your daily rituals don't support that emotionally, you'll keep falling into old patterns. Want more peace? Build a routine that centers you. Want more energy? Create rituals that fuel your body and focus. Want more confidence? Practice visualizing yourself succeeding before the world sees it. Over time, these repeated emotional rehearsals become who you are, not by accident, but by design. This is also why language matters so much. The way you speak to yourself is part of your emotional ritual. Saying things like, I'm so tired, I'm always behind, or this is just who I am, may seem harmless, but those words are seeds. You plant them enough times, they take root, and they grow into emotional states that feel permanent, when really they were built by repetition. What you say is what you feel, and what you feel is what you become. If you truly want to master your mood, you need to take inventory of your emotional rituals. What are the first thoughts you allow into your mind each morning? What music do you listen to? What people do you surround yourself with? What words do you repeat in your head? These are not random choices. They are rituals. They are shaping your emotional destiny one small moment at a time. The good news is you don't need to overhaul your entire life overnight. Even one powerful ritual done consistently can create a massive emotional shift. Maybe it's writing down 3 things you're grateful for. Maybe it's 10 minutes of movement or 5 minutes of silence before you start the day. These small acts send a message to your nervous system. We are in control. We are intentional. We choose how we feel. Your rituals are either training you for chaos or training you for clarity. You are always rehearsing something. The question is, are you rehearsing strength or weakness? Empowerment or anxiety? Joy or resentment? You can't wait for a good mood to arrive. You have to create it daily with purpose and precision. And that creation begins and ends with the rituals you choose to live by.